Welcome to the Instagram stories for Wednesday, January 3rd. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. If this is your first time listening in the past few days, welcome back. If you have been listening and you heard our end of year recap that I did with Anna Hartley, longtime fan of the show, I hope you enjoyed it. It was nice to kind of go through some of the things that have happened in the past 12 months and talk about the things we're looking forward to in 2024. If you haven't heard that conversation, go back and listen. I bet you're going to like it. Let's get into the Ask Me Anything. We normally do it on Mondays. Today is just Wednesday. That's just how it is. First, let's do all the Threads questions that Adam Mosseri talked about. The first one, why should creators care about using Threads? What's the benefit? Great question. I honestly don't know why you would care about Threads when there are so many other social media platforms to talk on. But if you want to have conversations and you want to find other people who are having those conversations that aren't on Twitter, then I guess Threads would be the place for that.
Not all creators should care about Threads. I know it can feel like a lot given that we offer so many different products. What I think Threads is going to be really good for over time is conversations, back and forth, commentary around the game, around fashion, around music, whatever it is. So if your creator is interested in conversations about something, then maybe try Threads. If you're not, it's okay. Maybe stick to Instagram or whatever else you use.
Okay, let's do another Threads question. The question, what's the most surprising thing that's happened since Threads launched? I would say that the most surprising thing to me was the CEO of Twitter, Elon Musk, trying to challenge the CEO of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, to some kind of cage fight, as if that would do anything to make people want to use Twitter more instead of using Threads. Mind-blowing to me that someone who with so much knowledge of business and industry would resort to something so childish. Honestly, that's the most surprising thing to me. Anyway, here's Adam's answer.
I mean, the biggest surprise by far is just how well received it has been for an initial launch. I was excited about it. I thought we would have millions of users by the end of the year, but we have over 100 million monthly active users, which is just nuts. So we're just excited. It's a long road. There's a lot more to do, but it's been amazing to see the momentum, and I am excited to build on that in 2024.
Since I brought up the notable figure of Elon Musk on this show, the next question, I'd like to understand what is the process behind banning someone prominent on Instagram? Obviously, a lot of thought goes into that. You want prominent people on the platform because that brings more people to the platform. You would only really ban them if they were doing something really harmful to users.
More or less, it's the same process as any other account. If you post content that violates your community guidelines, you get a strike. There's different severities. And if you get enough strikes, which by the way, you can see in your account status if you have any content taken down. But if you get enough strikes, then your account eventually gets suspended. And we usually warn you as you're getting close to it. And if it's a really big, prominent account, we'll double check and make sure that all those strikes are actually accurate. We didn't make any mistakes because we do sometimes make mistakes. But at the end of the day, we have to be consistent in how we apply our rules and our guidelines.
We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about whether or not Instagram limits your reach if you don't have a verified badge and some of the cleanup that Instagram has done across the app. So stick around. Oh, hey, welcome back. Let's get into the next question. Why do you limit organic reach even if I don't pay for a verified badge? That's not exactly how Instagram works, but I could see why it might seem that way. Instagram did initially test the verified badge getting more reach, so that might explain the confusion.
We don't limit reach if you don't buy a badge. In fact, it's not in our interest to do so. If you're creating content that people want to see, it's in our interest to connect those people with that content, because if we do, they'll actually not only be happy and you will get more reach, but they'll actually use Instagram more as well, which is good for us as a business. So we try to connect people with what they're interested in. We're not always perfect at it by any means, but we're getting better and better over time. But we never artificially suppress reach because it wouldn't make any sense for us to do so. The only exceptions are things like if it's debunked by a third-party fact checker as misinformation, or if it's probably violating and we haven't actually reviewed it yet. But in general, we try really hard never to get between people and the accounts they follow.
Let's go on to the next question. I feel like Instagram got cleaned up this year. Did you do that on purpose? I just want to pause and say it is true. Instagram has removed some features. For instance, guides comes to mind as something that was recently removed because not a lot of people were using it and it wasn't adding a lot of value to the app. However, there are still so many ways to post on Instagram. Now we have notes where we can post pictures, songs, and videos. That's just in one tiny feature inside the Instagram DM box where people can see a status. So in a lot of ways, even though Instagram is removing some features, they are also adding, giving more ways to post content.
Thanks. We're definitely trying, looking for more ways to simplify the experience, to focus on helping people express themselves and connect over creativity. So we're going to try to continue to simplify into next year. A lot more to do. It still feels too complicated to me, but I think we are starting to make some progress on that front.
I agree. Still too complicated. Last question we're going to talk about today. I'm seeing a lot of reels that I'm not interested in on the Explore page. What changed? Here's Adam's answer.
That's not good. I apologize. If you see things in Explore that you're not interested in, just long press them and then you can tap not interested, and then that'll help us learn. Actually, after you do that, you can actually then batch select a whole bunch of things in Explore and say you're not interested if we're missing the mark a bunch of different times. And then hopefully we'll get better over time.
I just want to point out there's one feature that TikTok has that Instagram does not. TikTok will actually let you go in and completely reset your For You page. So you can start just like you're a brand new user who never opened the app. I always think there are things that I might be interested in, but I don't know that they exist. So periodically resetting my For You page gives me a chance to see what else is out there that a random person who's not me might see. After a while, though, you're going to continue to like the same things that you liked before, probably. And so your feed will eventually probably end up very similar to what it was before you did that reset. I do think that's a feature that Instagram should add, just giving you the chance to wipe the slate clean and start all over to show your interests. If you've been using Instagram for 5 or 10 years at this point, they know a lot about you, but a good reset would go a long way. That is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't left a review of the show, I would really appreciate it. Go on Apple Music, look for the Instagram stories. It'll take just a few seconds. Please write something positive about the show. It would really help other people to find it. As always, thank you for listening.
Instagram news got you covered, sometimes even TikTok. Relevant platforms in the metaverse ahead of the wave. Without a break or a pit stop, still waiting for Zuckerberg to give me the big job. Pause. Use trademarks and logos with Insta's permission, of course. If you like the show and you gain some good info, maybe leave a review. It's a type of applause. Just drop me a message if you want to collab. If you got some good content or you want to run ads, at Daniel Hill Media is where I am. TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.